Country Program Document for the Kingdom of Thailand. This report is prepared by the United Nations Development Program Thailand. This report is made for Daisy NCC Only Book by Daisy Thailand Project Foundation for the Blind in Thailand on 23rd July 2022. Total 27 pages. Read by Chanakwan Dunyawit. Front cover. Country Program Document for the Kingdom of Thailand. A picture of a map of Thailand. On the upper right corner has a logo of UNDP. It is a map from the world viewed from the North Pole, entwined by two olive branches. UNDP QR code. A circle diagram showing a picture of a tiger, a man sitting on wheelchair. A group of people are holding boxes that are stacked on the top of each other, and a view of a city with many high-rise buildings. 2022 to 2026. Inner page, blank page. On the upper right corner has a logo of UNDP. It is a map from the world viewed from the North Pole, entwined by two olive branches. UNDP. On the lower left corner, Country Program Document for the Kingdom of Thailand, 2022 to 2026, blank page. Contents. Chapter 1, page 1 to 4, UNDP within the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework. Chapter 2, page 5 to 10, Program Priorities and Partnerships. Chapter 3, page 11 to 13, Program and Risk Management. Chapter 4, page 14 to 15, Monitoring and Evaluation. Annex, page 16 to 27, Results and Resources Framework for Thailand, 2022 to 2026. A photo of some parts of the island, with full of green leaf tree, beautiful clear water surrounding the island, rocks on the beach. There are several houses lined up near the beach. Foreword. Photo of Mr. Renaud Meyer wearing a suit and tie in a circle frame. Our new country program 2022 to 2026 lays out the analysis and content of what UNDP aims to achieve with all our partners in the coming 5 years, building on our past work in Thailand and integrating lessons learned. Formulated following a participatory approach with consultations across Thailand with government, civil society, academia, the private sector, and other development partners, the country program was approved by UNDP's Executive Board in February 2022. With Agenda 2030 as its overarching reference and contributing to the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework UNSDCF 2022 to 2026, as well as to the National Socio-Economic Plan of Thailand. It articulates UNDP's work in several key areas: green growth, climate action, and biodiversity conservation, reduction of inequalities, and rights-based approach to development, innovation, and digital transformation. During the past 2 years, COVID-19 has disrupted Thailand's economic transformation and progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals and revealed vulnerability in the Thai economy. Furthermore, Thailand's geographic location makes the country susceptible to natural disasters, and its economy is heavily reliant on tourism and natural resources. Recovering from the pandemic following the bio-circular green development pathway defined by Thailand provides unique opportunities to achieve a low-carbon economy and deliver the commitments made by the country on net zero emission and carbon neutrality. UNDP will contribute to these efforts with climate action and finance and biodiversity conservation, working with both state and non-state actors. Realizing that digital literacy is a key accelerator for development and transforming the Thai economy, Our country program will also place emphasis on promoting innovation and digital capabilities, especially among vulnerable populations. Our programmatic investments will increase engagement at subnational level among communities and foster dialogues and empowerment of vulnerable groups, particularly women, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex LGBTQI groups, youth, elderly people, ethnic minorities, and people with disabilities, ensuring their access to services and inclusion in decision-making processes. In these areas of work, UNDP's program supports Thailand's 20 years national strategy with an emphasis on security, prosperity, and sustainability, responding to the expectations of its key stakeholders. To achieve this ambition, we will need the guidance and support from many partners. Working closely with them and ensuring a strong national leadership and ownership of its programs, UNDP is committed to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals in Thailand. We believe that together we can contribute to a better, more inclusive and prosperous Thailand, where everyone can lead a dignified life, leaving no one behind. Renaud Meyer, UNDP Resident Representative in Thailand. Outcome number 1. Sustainable Development Goals. 5. Gender equality. 7. Affordable and clean energy. 8. Decent work and economic growth. 12. Responsible consumption and production. 13. Climate action. 14. Life below water. 15. Life on land. Graphic picture of community consists of housing, tree, river, turbine, and 6 people are doing some activities on the lawn. Thailand's transformation into an inclusive economy based on a green, resilient, low-carbon, sustainable development is accelerated. Outputs. Graphic picture of an elephant and tiger in the jungle. Gender-responsive and inclusive solutions in national and subnational climate actions and biodiversity conservation are strengthened for increased resilience. Graphic picture of urban community with high-rise building, sky train, trees, and a large bag with full of money. Improved enabling environment and private sector practices to support green, circular, inclusive, gender-responsive, and low-carbon economic development. Resources. A picture of pie chart, which is divided into 2 areas. Regular $500,000, other $47,776,000. Outcome number 2. Sustainable Development Goals. 9. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. 10. Reduced inequalities. 17. Partnerships for the goals. Graphic picture of TV monitor having a balloon, a rocket, a light bulb on the screen. A woman standing on iPad facing the lock key, while at the back has several types of documents. Human capital needed for social and inclusive development is improved through strengthening of institutions, partnerships, and the empowerment of people. Output. Graphic picture of a set of computer, document box, and computer monitor surrounding by network. Strengthened capacity of state and non-state actors to support Thailand's digital transformation and innovation for improving access and delivery of quality services. Resources. A picture of pie chart, which is divided into 2 areas. Regular $1,441,000. Other $6,910,000. Outcome number 3. Sustainable Development Goals. 1. No poverty. 5. Gender equality. 10. Reduced inequalities. 16. Peace, justice, and strong institutions. A graphic picture of up and down line graph. The end of the line is up arrow. A woman, elderly, child, and disabled people standing in front of the line graph. People living in Thailand, especially those at risk of being left furthest behind, are able to participate in and benefit from development free from all forms of discrimination. Outputs: graphic picture of building, document, and globe. State and non-state actors engage in social dialogues and adopt practices that foster human rights and equality for a just and inclusive society. Graphic picture of a voting ballot box with women, child, and disabled people standing in front of a box. Vulnerable groups, particularly women, LGBTQI, youth, ethnic minorities, and people with disabilities are empowered to engage in decision-making bodies and processes at national and local levels. A graphic picture of building, which below has picture of homeless people with an arrow points to home. Man holding hands on stomach with an arrow points to medical facility symbol. Disabled people sitting on a wheelchair with an arrow points to scale symbol. Vulnerable groups have improved access to quality socio-economic services and justice. Resources: a picture of pie chart, which is divided into two areas. Regular, $500,000. Other, $10,540,000. Asterisk: regular funding refers to UNDP funds. Others refer to external sources. Chapter 1. UNDP within the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework. A bird-eye view photos showing city plan that consists of building, park area, river, and transportation system. Number 1. Thailand has transitioned from a low-income to an upper-middle-income country in less than a generation. Over the past 20 years, the country has maintained high foreign reserves, low inflation, a sound banking system, and a stable exchange rate. Combined with an openness to trade, financial flows, labor migration, and investments in both human and physical capital, these advances have facilitated high levels of growth in gross domestic product, GDP, and significant reductions in poverty. Reference number 1. United Nations Common Country Analysis, Draft, March 2021. End of reference number 1. Thailand's Human Development Index is 0.777, though after adjustment for inequality, it falls to 0.646, a 16.9% loss. Its Gender Development Index is 1.008. Number 2. Thailand's economic growth has slowed during the past 5 years, with a GDP growth rate of 2.3% to 4.2%. In 2015, the government set a goal, based on the Thailand 4.0 policy initiative, to achieve high income status by 2032. Reference number 2. Thailand 4.0 is an economic model with 4 objectives: economic prosperity, social well-being, raising human values, and environmental protection. End of reference number 2. Number 3. COVID-19 has disrupted Thailand's economic transformation and progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals, the goals. The country's GDP contracted by 6.1% in 2020, affecting all sectors, especially tourism. Reference number 3. World Bank, Thailand Economic Monitor, July 2021, The Road to Recovery. End of reference number 3. The informal sector, employing approximately 20.36 million people, open bracket, 53.7% of total employment, close bracket, was hit particularly hard, Reference number 4. National Statistical Office, The Informal Employment Survey 2020. End of reference number 4. The sectors most affected by COVID-19 are those with a high proportion of informal female workers, including food services, 66%, manufacturing, 57%, and wholesale and retail trade, 53%. Number 4. Despite the government's swift and comprehensive response to COVID-19, including a $58 billion stimulus package for social protection and economic rehabilitation, the prolonged pandemic worsened the conditions of vulnerable groups. Photo of high-rise building in the business area at night. Before the pandemic, Thailand was making progress on the goals, though facing challenges related to food security, climate action, and sustainable use of marine resources. Reference number 5. United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, UNSCAP. Snapshot of Thailand 2019 to 2020. SDG, Sustainable Development Growth Gateway. End of reference number 5. However, COVID-19 is hampering progress in reducing poverty and inequality and improving education quality. This particularly affects vulnerable groups such as women, youth, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex, LGBTQI people, ethnic minorities, and people with disabilities. Photo of female farmer wearing long sleeves, a wide brim hat, right hand holding a wooden stick, left hand wiping the sweat from her face. Number 5. The pandemic has revealed vulnerabilities in the Thai economy, which relies heavily on foreign exports and tourism, and depends on natural resources and biodiversity. 3 key challenges emerged: inequality, deterioration of the ecosystem, and lacking development of human capital. Thailand's inequality of opportunity score is below the regional average. Reference number 6. UNSCAP, Inequality in Asia and the Pacific in the Era of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, SDG Gateway 2018. End of reference number 6. And income disparity is a critical problem. The pandemic is likely to increase the incidence of poverty, while the country's poverty rate fell from 65.17% in 1988 to 6.24% in 2019. It grew from 7.21% to 9.85% during the 2015 to 2018 period. The absolute number of people living in poverty increased from 4.85 million to 6.68 million due to declining income among the poorest households. Reference number 7. World Bank data, https://data.worldbank.org/topic/poverty, locations, capital T, capital H. End of reference number 7. Some of the root causes lie in gender inequality, lack of equal opportunity, the digital divide, and social discrimination against some vulnerable groups. Number 6. Combined with climate change, Thailand's reliance on natural resources and biodiversity threaten conservation efforts. The country's susceptibility to natural disaster exacerbates economic vulnerability, including in the agricultural sector. In addition, Thailand is the 10th largest contributor to marine waste. Reference number 8. Thailand Development Research Institute, TDRI, Thailand Development Research Institution, Insight, Disparity Worsen Ocean Pollution 2020. End of reference number 8. And the lockdown from the pandemic has led to an increase in plastic pollution. The country's ambition of achieving a low-carbon economy may be threatened by diversion of resources to economic production in support of pandemic recovery. Number 7. Transforming Thailand's economy requires further development of human capital, so capacities and skills are aligned with Thailand 4.0 and able to respond to a rapid demographic transition. In 2020, 15.1% of youth were not in employment, education or training, and for women the figure was 18.5% compared to 11.8% of men. Reference number 9. ILO Stat. International Labour Organization Stat. Global Employment Trends for Youth 2020. End of reference number 9. Investment in digital infrastructure and literacy is critical to close the digital divide and create job opportunities. Photo of farmers planting rice. Number 8. Thailand's 20-year national strategy is focused on becoming a developed country with security, prosperity, and sustainability in accordance with the sufficiency economy philosophy, which emphasizes balance, resilience, knowledge, and equity. The country is finalizing its 13th National Economic and Social Development Plan, 13th Plan, 2022 to 2027, in support of a high-value economy and sustainable society, with 13 priorities in 4 categories: high-value, eco-friendly economy, society of opportunities and equality, sustainable way of life, and supporting factors for transformation. Reference number 10. National Economic and Social Development Council, 13 National Economic and Social Development Plan, Draft 2021. End of reference number 10. Number 9. The United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, UNSDCF 2022 to 2026, complements Thailand's priorities. The UNDP country program aims to support the milestones outlined in the 13th Plan. The program is structured around 3 linked outcomes in the UNSDCF. A. Accelerating Thailand's transformation into an inclusive economy based on green, resilient, low-carbon, sustainable development. B. Creating the human capital needed for social and inclusive development. And C. Increasing the ability of people living in Thailand, especially vulnerable people, to participate in and benefit from development free from discrimination. Number 10. UNDP's contribution to the 13th Plan and the UNSDCF reflects its comparative advantages. UNDP co-leads 2 outcome groups, one on green, resilient, low-carbon sustainable development, and one on leaving no one behind, as well as the United Nations Gender Working Group. UNDP's approach builds on complementarities among United Nations organizations. 6 Principles Guide Program Implementation. A. Localizing the goals. B. Developing solutions with multiplier effects across the 2030 Agenda. C. Promoting a whole-of-government and whole-of-society approach. D. Prioritizing Leave No One Behind. E. Enhancing gender equality. And F. Supporting BRICS-informed development. Number 11. With its indicator role, UNDP is a long-standing and trusted government partner. It works with a rich network of civil society, private sector, and global partners, has a strong footprint in communities across the country, and is strategically positioned to support the country's structural transformation. UNDP will make use of its 6 signature solutions, enhanced by innovation, digitalization, and development financing. The Accelerator Lab and Thailand Policy Lab are important platforms to link these solutions to policy through a human-centered and gender-sensitive approach. Number 12. The country program evaluation in 2021 found that UNDP is well positioned to respond to Thailand's needs and that partners perceive it as able to provide tangible support, particularly in localizing the goals. Reference number 11. UNDP Decentralized Country Program Evaluation Thailand 2017 to 2021. 2021. End of reference number 11. This has led to a stronger UNDP emphasis at subnational level. The new program will emphasize scaling up successful initiatives and expanding work on entrepreneurship, youth engagement, and capacity building of local authorities and communities. Funding sources will be further diversified with an emphasis on sustainability. UNDP will explore strategies to strengthen rights-based efforts to localize the goals, support the government in translating national policy into subnational interventions, increase public participation in policy decision-making, and promote coordination among ministries as well as between central and subnational entities. An integrated information system will be established to monitor and evaluate development results against the government's plan and the goals. Photo of 4 female students holding SDG sign, SDG 1, 10, and 2, with several boxes of SDG 12, 15, 9, 8, and 2 at the side and front. Youth at Thai Parliament to discuss localization of SDGs. Chapter 2. Program Priorities and Partnerships. Photo of Mr. Renaud Meyer and UNDP Working Group standing for a photo with male and female attendees in a large conference room. Number 13. The new country program has 6 outputs contributing to the 3 mutually reinforcing development outcomes under the UN SDCF, highlighting the links between people, planet, and prosperity. A. Innovative solutions to increase biodiversity conservation and resilience. B. An enabling environment to support economic development that is green, circular, inclusive, gender responsive, and low carbon. C. Strengthened capacity for digital transformation. D. Dialogues that foster human rights and equality. E. Engagement of vulnerable groups in decision-making bodies and processes at national and local levels. And F. Access by vulnerable groups to quality socio-economic services and justice. Outcome number 1. Thailand's transformation into an inclusive economy based on green, resilient, low-carbon, sustainable development is accelerated. Number 14. 2 outputs are crucial in support of Thailand's transformation: increase in biodiversity conservation and resilience, and an enabling environment to support a green, circular, inclusive, gender-responsive, and low-carbon economic development. Attention must be paid to the connections between human development and economic growth, human rights, and environmental protection. These will contribute directly to milestones 2, 10, and 11 of the 13th Plan, addressing sustainable tourism, circularity, a low-carbon society, and adaptation to and reduction of natural disaster risk. These will improve the resilience of the country. UNDP will galvanize its partnerships with stakeholders such as the Office of National Economic and Social Development Council, Ministry of Finance, Budget Bureau, Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, Bank of Thailand, Thai Bankers Association and academic institutions. Number 15. UNDP will leverage its signature solutions on environment, resilience, and gender to support gender-responsive and inclusive solutions in national and subnational climate plans and actions, and will work to strengthen biodiversity conservation to increase resilience. This will support the government's policy on biocircular green economy and low-carbon economic development. Number 16. Support will be continued in relation to the nationally determined contribution within the framework of UNDP's climate promise. This will improve plastic waste management, address air pollution, including its health implications, promote risk-informed development and effective disaster risk management, and, with the financial support of the Clean Climate Fund, strengthen climate resilience in marine and coastal areas in the Gulf of Thailand. The emphasis there will be on strengthening the resilience of coastal and other communities at risk of being left behind. Number 17. Building on ongoing efforts, UNDP aims to promote biodiversity-based, sustainable tourism with funding support from the Global Environment Facility and to enhance climate resilience through effective water management, sustainable agriculture, and coral reef conservation. Using the UNDP Accelerator Lab and the Thailand Policy Lab, UNDP interventions at local level will be scaled up. Number 18. In addition to sectoral ministries, partnerships will be formed with provincial and local administrations, academia, the media and civil society to provide local, evidence-based solutions that are green, inclusive and gender-sensitive. Civil society and community-based organizations, including those representing women and ethnic minorities, will be engaged, contributing to the economic empowerment of these groups with support from the Global Environment Facility's Small Grants Program. Experiences and expertise on nature-based solutions and climate actions will be shared through South-South cooperation. A bird's-eye view of a forest where researchers are exploring. Number 19. Green and inclusive financial solutions, including gender-responsive budgeting, will be an important priority in climate and biodiversity financing as part of UNDP's support for financing the goals. Effort will continue towards establishing an integrated national financing framework that will encompass work under the Biodiversity Finance Program and Climate Financing Framework. Number 20. UNDP will co-create participatory mechanisms and enhance the capacities of youth and vulnerable groups to contribute to policies, laws, and programs and support equitable sharing of benefits from Thailand's green, low-carbon, and resilient transformation. Several initiatives with United Nations partners are envisaged, including on youth empowerment, helping Thailand cope with the impacts of climate change in the agriculture sector, electric mobility, and in support of a green and inclusive COVID-19 economic recovery. UNDP will complement its engagement at subnational level by strengthening its ongoing collaboration with the German Development Agency, GIZ, the German Agency for International Cooperation, and the Asian Development Bank to benefit from their technical expertise and ongoing programs in climate resilience and goals financing. Number 21. UNDP will strengthen its engagement with the private sector, reflecting its crucial role in socio-economic transformation. The aim is to encourage adoption of low-carbon, green, circular, and inclusive practices, and to promote business integrity and respect for human rights. This collaboration will build on existing partnerships with the Securities and Exchange Commission, Global Compact Network Thailand, Stock Exchange of Thailand, Thai Chamber of Commerce and Federation of Thai Industries. The existing partnership with the Federation of Professional Business Women will be sustained to strengthen women's leadership. Photo of two female students holding iPad showing application screen. Mission 1.5 launched at Chulalongkorn University. Outcome number 2. Human capital for social and inclusive development is improved by strengthening institutions and partnerships and empowering people. Number 22. To support human capital development, UNDP will emphasize strengthening capacity of state and non-state actors to support Thailand's digital transformation, which will improve delivery of quality services. Digital transformation will help accelerate COVID-19 economic recovery by increasing economic transactions, particularly for farmers and small entrepreneurs in remote areas. It will also help to close the socio-economic gap between urban and rural areas and between generations. Number 23. UNDP will accordingly focus on 4 areas to encourage digital transformation: public sector operating systems, people's digital literacy, digital infrastructure and digital platforms. Interventions in these areas will contribute to milestones 6, 12, and 13 of the 13 Plan, related to digital services, a skilled labor force, and an efficient public sector. Number 24. As part of this, UNDP will support the formulation of policies and strengthen public sector capacities to utilize digital technology and e-governance to deliver services for all, including through digital procurement, fostering integrity and transparency. The emphasis will be on ensuring that inclusivity and digital solutions are incorporated into policy design and interventions to inform climate actions, improve service delivery, reduce inequalities, and accelerate Thailand's achievement of the goals. For this work, UNDP will leverage its partnership with the Office of the National Economic and Social Development Council, Thailand Institute of Justice, Comptroller's General Department, National Innovation Agency, Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, and Office of the Public Sector Commission, complemented by technical assistance from the United Kingdom Government Digital Service. Number 25. Digital literacy is a key accelerator of human capital development, central to transforming the Thai economy. UNDP will focus on promoting training opportunities and employability for all people, in particular for people with disability and the LGBTQI community. These will include strengthening their digital capacities and improving their access to financing. The existing partnership with the Ministry of Social Development and Human Security will be leveraged to ensure gender-responsive policies and services reach the most vulnerable, including women and disability, and from ethnic communities. Academia, civil society, and the private sector, including social enterprises, will be engaged to promote income-generating opportunities. Number 26. UNDP will support the formulation of public policies and partnerships with the private sector to invest in digital infrastructure to reduce the digital divide between urban and rural areas. Using social innovation, UNDP will work to co-create models for engaging civil society, the private sector, and the government at the subnational level in providing user-friendly digital services to improve access to public services. Good practices and solutions will be scaled up and shared with other countries through the UNDP Accelerator Lab and the Thailand Policy Lab. Outcome number 3. People living in Thailand. especially those at risk of being left furthest behind, are able to participate in and benefit from development free from discrimination. Number 27. To ensure that no one is left behind and to contribute to a high opportunity society, UNDP will give priority to 3 outputs. A. Engagement of state and non-state actors in social dialogues and practices that foster human rights and equality. B. Empowerment of vulnerable groups, particularly women, LGBTQI groups, youth, elderly people, ethnic minority, and people with disability, to engage in decision-making bodies and processes at national and local levels. And C. Improve access by vulnerable groups to quality socio-economic services and justice. This will contribute directly to milestones 7, 8, and 9 of the 13th Plan related to reducing inequalities, improving access to public services, promoting upward mobility, and strengthening accountability between citizens and state. Number 28. Leveraging its signature solutions on governance, poverty, and gender, UNDP will support strengthening the capacity of public institutions and civil society in participatory planning and implementing policy on inclusive social services and protection. This work will also address gender-responsive and inclusive service delivery, especially for people at risk of being left behind. In partnership with the Parliament, Human Rights Commission, National Municipal League of Thailand, and other state and non-state actors, UNDP will support the advancement of human rights, equality, and non-discrimination. It will help to improve the delivery of services at the local level by strengthening its engagement with provincial and local administrative offices, communities, and the private sector to foster responsible business. Number 29. To eliminate discrimination, a root cause of exclusion and human rights violations, UNDP will address social norms and enhance institutional capacity of state and non-state actors at national and subnational level. It will advocate to raise public awareness on equity and diversity, to increase understanding of the rights of vulnerable groups, and to reduce stigma. Partnerships with United Nations organizations will be strengthened to mainstream social diversity in policies and programs. This will ensure inclusion of vulnerable groups in decision-making processes, including in the southern border provinces, building on UNDP's long-standing support to the region's development. Academic institutions, civil society, and the media, such as the Thai Public Broadcasting Service, will be important partners. Number 30. In partnership with the National Security Council and with the technical expertise of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime and United Nations Office of Counter-Terrorism, UNDP will continue its support to Thailand in developing and implementing an inclusive and gender-responsive national action plan to prevent violent extremism, which will also address climate security. Continued efforts will be made to promote the United Nations guiding principles on business and human rights and the standards of conduct for business in tackling discrimination against the LGBTQI community, address gender discrimination, and strengthen transparency and integrity. These efforts will be conducted in partnership with the Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Social Development and Human Security, National Human Rights Commission, National Anti-Corruption Commission, Securities and Exchange Commission, Stock Exchange of Thailand, Global Compact Network of Thailand, civil society, and the business community. Number 31. UNDP will empower vulnerable groups Through leadership and skills development, it will use digital tools to raise awareness and improve access to information related to political, social, economic, and environmental rights. UNDP will facilitate partnerships between state and non-state actors to promote dialogue and meaningful participation of vulnerable groups in decision-making bodies, with the goal of identifying integrated development solutions at national and subnational levels. Partnerships will be continued with the Ministry of Social Development and Human Security, Ministry of Interior, Parliament, civil society, and provincial and local administrations to strengthen social cohesion. Number 32. To improve vulnerable groups' access to quality socio-economic services and justice, UNDP will engage with national and subnational partners, including the judiciary, to strengthen their capacities to deliver inclusive and gender-responsive services and provide equal and affordable access to justice. New public and private financing strategies will be explored to mobilize resources to take advantage of the rich social capital, local wisdom, and giving nature of the Thai people. To increase economic self-reliance among vulnerable groups, UNDP will promote equitable access to financial services and income-generating opportunities, including by expanding social entrepreneurship with an emphasis on the informal sector. Digital solutions will be introduced to make service delivery more inclusive, promote integrity and transparency, and ensure the rights of all people are protected and promoted. Number 33. Interventions under these three outputs will be undertaken at national and subnational levels. At subnational level, this work will contribute to localizing the goals by facilitating inclusive platforms to engage multiple stakeholders around the pillars of the goals roadmap approved by the National Committee on Sustainable Development. Chapter 3. Program and Risk Management. Photo of 6 male and female researchers standing in the water resembles a mangrove forest. Number 34. This country program document outlines UNDP's contributions to national results and serve as the primary unit of accountability to the Executive Board for results alignment and resources assigned to the program at country level. Accountabilities of managers at the country, regional and headquarter levels with respect to country programs is prescribed in the organization's program and operation policies and procedures and internal control framework. Number 35. The program will be nationally executed. If necessary, national execution may be replaced by direct execution for part or all of the program to enable response to force majeure. Harmonized approach to cash transfers will be used in a coordinated fashion with other United Nations agencies to manage financial risk, building on the macro assessment conducted by UNDP. Cost definitions and classifications for program and development effectiveness will be charged to the concerned projects. Number 36. COVID-19 has resulted in a socio-economic crisis that is hampering Thailand's achievement of the goals. The government's comprehensive response package, including cash handouts to the most vulnerable groups, has reduced fiscal space and forced reprogramming of public expenditure. This could require diversion of resources away from productive green investment. The existing climate crisis, threat to the country's biodiversity, vulnerability to natural disasters, political and social tensions, and an aging society could challenge the country's ambition for a sustainable recovery and achievement of the goals. Number 37. To address these challenges, UNDP will continue working with state and non-state actors at national and subnational levels, advocating for rights-based development agenda that leaves no one behind, strengthens social cohesion, and improves the balance between people and planet. These should ensure a conducive environment for implementation of the country's bio-circular green economic model and development priorities, inspired by the principle of the sufficiency economy philosophy and the 2030 Agenda. Particular attention will be given to groups with multiple vulnerabilities. In partnership with the Thailand International Cooperation Agency, UNDP will support South-South cooperation to identify solutions and share lessons with other countries, including the contribution of the sufficiency economy philosophy to achievement of the goals. Number 38. To ensure financial sustainability, UNDP will work to diversify its partnerships and funding base, emphasizing domestic resources from the public and private sector and non-traditional donors. Partners have been mapped and assessed for their contributions to maximize complementarity. It faced with challenges in mobilizing resources. UNDP will adjust targets and reduce the scope of its interventions. To ensure sustainability of results, UNDP will prioritize working with existing systems and mechanisms to foster national ownership and long-term impact. Number 39. Leveraging UNDP's expertise in its 6 signature solutions and building on the enabling power of innovation, digitalization, and development financing, UNDP will continue to provide integrated development solutions informed by the lessons from its global network to help Thailand achieve stronger resilience and structural transformation. The goal is a sustainable recovery and achievement of the goals, leaving no one behind. UNDP will institutionalize mechanisms to ensure systematic engagement and consultation with vulnerable groups throughout implementation of the program. Working with United Nations volunteers, UNDP will foster volunteerism to promote broad-based national ownership, gender equality, inclusive participation, and sustainability. 2 female and 1 male. Photo of 2 female and 1 male volunteer holding a sign "Together We Can" through volunteering, and a sign #5th December International Voluntary Day. United Nations Volunteer Day. Chapter 4. Monitoring and Evaluation. Male photo wearing short sleeves and a wide-brimmed hat, standing in a mushroom nursery. Number 40. In alignment with the UNSDCF and the 13th National 5-Year Plan, UNDP will use innovative data collection and monitoring methods, including collective intelligence, micro-narrative, and user-integrated feedback. The goal is to identify and better target those left behind, monitor progress towards development outcomes, and capture transformational results. In addition to using national data for reporting, capacities will be enhanced in the National Statistical Office, particularly on the goals indicators where data gaps are more pronounced. Reference number 12. Goals 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 16. Source: UNSCAP 2020. End of reference number 12. And for which UNDP is acting as a custodian to support monitoring and real-time decision-making. Number 41. Consistent with recommendations from the country program evaluation, UNDP will embed a robust evidence-based monitoring and evaluation system in the program and its projects, combining qualitative and quantitative data. At least 3% of the program budget will be made available for monitoring, evaluation, and communications of results. Based on budget availability, accessibility-related costs will be allocated to ensure inclusion of persons with disability. UNDP will support implementing partners to collect robust data, which will be verified through staff or independent monitoring systems, including field visits and surveys. Citizen and beneficiary feedback will be solicited to validate UNDP's impact and comparative advantages. Number 42. Annual planning and multi-year goal setting will be undertaken in partnership with the government by establishing a governance mechanism, open bracket, program board, close bracket, with stakeholder representation. The harmonized approach to cash transfers, spot checks, and financial audits will complement regular program monitoring for stakeholders. The costed evaluation plan indicates project, program, and thematic evaluations to be undertaken to ensure learning and accountability. UNDP will set up mechanisms to track and support meaningful participation in decision-making by vulnerable groups, particularly women, LGBTQI groups, youth, elderly people, ethnic minorities, and people with disability. Systematic use of the gender maker will continue to monitor expenditures related to gender-responsive interventions and to improve gender-based planning. At least 15% of the program budget will be allocated to gender-related interventions and monitoring of them. Annex: Results and Resources Framework for Thailand, 2022 to 2026. National Priority. Draft 13 National Economic and Social Development Plan. Milestone 1. Thailand is a leading country in high-value agricultural and processed food products. Milestone 2. Thailand is a tourist destination that prioritizes value and sustainability. Milestone 10. Thailand has a circular economy and is a low-carbon society. Milestone 11. Thailand can adapt to and reduce the risks of natural disasters. UNSDCF Outcome 1. UNDP Outcome 1. Thailand's transformation into an inclusive economy based on green, resilient, low-carbon, sustainable development is accelerated. Strategic Plan Outcome. Outcome 1. Structural transformation accelerated, particularly green, inclusive and digital transitions. Table, which is divided into 5 columns. Starting from left to right, column heading. Column 1, UNSDCF Outcome Indicators. Column 2, Data Source, Frequency of Data Collection. Column 3, Indicative Country Program Outputs. Column 4, Major Partners. Column 5, Indicative Resources, US dollars. UNSDCF Outcome Indicators. Indicator 3, Number and percentage of public companies listed under Stock Exchange of Thailand. Sustainability Investment Baseline 2020, 25%. Target 2027, 124 companies, 19.2%. Open bracket 124/646 companies, close bracket. Data source, frequency of data collection. Source, National Economic and Social Development Council, Asia Development Bank, World Bank, National Science and Technology Development Agency, Ministry of Education, Stock Exchange of Thailand. Indicative Country Program Outputs. Output 1.1. Gender-responsive and inclusive solutions in national and subnational climate actions and biodiversity conservation are strengthened for increased resilience. Major partners: Ministry of Finance, Ministry of National Resources and Environment, Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, Ministry of Interior, National Statistical Office, Thai Chamber of Commerce. Indicative resources US dollars. Regular 500,000 US dollars. Other 47,776,000 US dollars. UNSDCF Outcome Indicators. Indicator 5. Number of financial institutions adopting United Nations Sustainable Finance Principles. Baseline 2020. 3. Target 2027. 6. Indicator 8. Proportion of local governments that adopt and implement local disaster risk reduction strategies in line with national disaster risk reduction strategies. Open bracket. Goals indicator 11.B.1 close bracket. Baseline 2020 60%. Target 2027 80%. Data source. Frequency of data collection. Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, United Nations Environment Programme Finance Initiative Principle for Responsible Investment, Ministry of Energy, Ministry of National Resources and Environment, Ministry of Interior. Frequency, annually. Indicative country program outputs. Indicator 1.1.1. Number of financial mechanisms, including the Integrated National Financing Framework and Climate and Biodiversity Finance, in place to support implementation of gender-responsive and inclusive climate actions and biodiversity conservation. Baseline 2021. 2. Target 2026. 6. Source. Reports on Integrated National Financing Framework, Climate Finance and other financial mechanisms to be developed. Source. Ministry of Foreign Affairs, UNDP Report on South-South Cooperation. Indicator 1.1.4. Number of provinces and local administration implementing a whole-of-government and whole-of-society approach to foster green, low-emission, climate-resilient, inclusive and gender-sensitive growth. Baseline 2021. 10. Target 2026. 30. Source. Provincial and local development plans. Major partners. Federation of Thai Industries, Thai Bankers Association, Budget Bureau, Bank of Thailand, Security and Exchange Commission, Tourism Association of Thailand, local administrative organizations, civil society, private sector, academia, United Nations organizations. Indicative resources, US dollars. Column is blank. UNSDCF outcome indicators. Column is blank. Data source. Frequency of data collection. Column is blank. Indicative country program outputs. Indicator 1.1.5. Area of terrestrial and marine protected areas under improved management practices. Open bracket. Link to strategic plan indicator 4.1.2. Close bracket. Baseline 2021. Not available. Target 2026. 5.8 million hectares. Additional to the baseline. Source. Surveys. Output 1.2. Improve enabling environment and private sector practices to support green, circular, inclusive, gender-responsive, and low-carbon economic development. Indicator 1.2.1. Number of innovative initiatives adopted by the private sector that foster green and circular development. Baseline 2021. 5. Target 2026. 10. Source. Memorandums of Understanding and Collaboration with Private Sector Partners. Biodiversity Finance Plan for Thailand. Major partners. Column is blank. Indicative resources, US dollars. Column is blank. UNSDCF outcome indicators. Column is blank. Data source. Frequency of data collection. Column is blank. Indicative Country Program Outputs. Indicator 1.2.2 Number of national and subnational policies and solutions that have been co-designed and drafted with private sector and vulnerable groups to support Thailand's low-carbon and resilient transformation. Baseline 2021. 3. Target 2026. 8. Source: Ministry of National Resources and Environment, Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, Ministry of Social Development and Human Security, provincial, district, and local government planning committees. Major partners. Column is blank. Indicative resources US dollars. Column is blank. National priority. Draft 13 National Economic and Social Development Plan. Milestone 6. Thailand is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, hub of smart electronic gadget manufacturing and digital services. Milestone 12. Thailand has skilled workers with desire to learn and forward mindset. Milestone 13. Thailand has a highly efficient public sector. UNSDCF Outcome 2. UNDP Outcome 2. Human capital needed for social and inclusive development is improved through strengthening of institutions, partnerships, and the empowerment of people. Strategic Plan Outcome. Outcome 2. No one left behind. Centering on equitable access to opportunities and a right-based approach to human agency and human development. Table, which is divided into 5 columns. Starting from left to right, column heading. Column 1. UNSDCF Outcome Indicators. Column 2. Data Source, Frequency of Data Collection. Column 3. Indicative Country Program Outputs. Column 4. Major Partners. Column 5. Indicative Resources US dollars. UNSDCF Outcome Indicators. Indicator 17. E-Government Development Index, covering provision of online services, telecommunication connectivity, and human capacity. Baseline 2020. 0.7565, rank 57. Target 2023 to 2027, rank top 50. Indicator 18. Global Innovation Index, open bracket, covering institution, human capital and research, infrastructure, market sophistication, business sophistication, knowledge and technology output, and creative output, close bracket. Baseline 2020, 36.68, rank 44. Target 2027, rank 40. Data source, frequency of data collection. Source: Bank of Thailand, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Education, National Statistical Office, International Telecommunication Union, World Health Organization Global Youth Tobacco Survey, Ministry of Public Health, Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, Joint United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS, Global Innovation Index. Frequency, annually, open bracket, except Ministry of Education, every 3 years, close bracket. Indicative Country Program Outputs. Output 2.1. Strengthen capacity of state and non-state actors to support Thailand's digital transformation and innovation for improving access and delivery of quality services. Indicator 2.1.1. Number of recommendations integrated into policies and practices for improved and inclusive e-government services formulated at national and subnational level. Baseline 2021. 9. Target 2026. 20. Source: Reports on e-government services, provincial and local government development reports, capacity self-assessment among state and non-state actors. Major partners: Ministry of Higher Education, Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Social Development and Human Security, National Economic and Social Development Council, Ministry of Digital Economy and Society, Digital Government Agency, Security and Exchange Commission, National Innovation Agency, National Statistical Office, Provincial Line Agencies, Local Administrative Organizations, National Human Rights Commission. Indicative resources, US dollars. Regular, 1,441,000 US dollars. Other, 6,910,000 US dollars. UNSDCF outcome indicators, column is blank. Data source, frequency of data collection, column is blank. Indicative country program outputs, indicator 2.1.2. Number of vulnerable people with strengthened digital skills who have improved or sustained their socio-economic status, disaggregated by sex, gender identity, age group, ethnicity and type of disability. Baseline 2021, 550. Target 2026, 5,000. Open bracket 2,200 men, 2,800 women, 10% people with disability, close bracket. Source, surveys. Indicator 2.1.3. Number of sustained public-private initiatives on digital innovation that improve quality and inclusiveness of services for vulnerable groups. Open bracket. Link to strategic plan indicator E.1.2, close bracket. Baseline 2021, 3. Target 2026, 20. Source, UNDP Accelerator Lab Reports, Department of the Empowerment of People with Disabilities Report. Indicator 2.1.4. Number of people accessing digital platforms designed to increase connectivity, learning, and cross-sectoral collaboration for improved access and delivery of quality services. Open bracket. Link to strategic plan indicator E.1.3, close bracket. Baseline 2021, not available. Target 2026, 100,000. Open bracket. 40,000 men, 60,000 women, 10% people with disabilities, close bracket. Source, monitoring and verification reports, surveys. Major partners, Global Compact Network Thailand, Stocks Exchange, National Municipal League, Civil Society, Private Sector, United Nations Organizations. Indicative resources, US dollars, column is blank. National priority, Draft 13 National Economic and Social Development Plan, Milestone 7, reduce inequality between large businesses and small and medium-sized enterprises. Milestone 8, reduce spatial inequalities in terms of economy and access to quality public services. Milestone 9, facilitate upward social mobility and reduce income and wealth disparities. UNSDCF Outcome 3, UNDP Outcome 3. People living in Thailand, especially those at risk of being left furthest behind, are able to participate in and benefit from development free from all forms of discrimination. Strategic Plan Outcome 3. No one left behind. Centering on equitable access to opportunities and a right-based approach to human agency and human development. Table, which is divided into 5 columns. Starting from left to right, column heading. Column 1, UNSDCF Outcome Indicators. Column 2, Data Source, Frequency of Data Collection. Column 3, Indicative Country Program Outputs. Column 4, Major Partners. Column 5, Indicative Resources, US dollars. UNSDCF Outcome Indicators. Indicator 23, Goals Indicator 1.2.1. Proportion of population living below the national poverty line by sex, age, and migratory status. Baseline 2019, 6.24%. Target 2027, 3%. Indicator 25, Gender Wage Gap, measured by female-male earning ratio for similar work. Baseline 2021 0.814, rank 12 out of 156 countries. Open bracket, lower is better. Close bracket. Target 2027 0.825. Data source, frequency of data collection. Data source, World Economic Forum, Ministry of Labor, National Statistical Office, National Economic and Social Development Council, World Bank, United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific. Frequency, annually. Indicative country program outputs. Output 3.1. State and non-state actors engage in social dialogues and adopt practices that foster human rights and equality for a just and inclusive society. Indicator 3.1.1. Number of approved provincial and local government development plans that integrate principles that foster human rights, equality, and non-discrimination in all its forms. Open bracket, link to Strategic Plan Indicator 2.2.1, close bracket. Baseline 2021, 12. Target 2026, 35. Source, provincial plans, local government plans. Major partners: Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Social Development and Human Security, Ministry of Digital Economy and Society, Ministry of Labor, National Economic and Social Development Council, Election Commission, Parliament, National Human Rights Commission, National Statistical Office, Department of Community Development. Indicative resources US dollars. Regular $500,000 US dollars. Other $10,540,000 US dollars. UNSDCF outcome indicators. Indicator 27. Average score of Provincial Goals Index. Open bracket. Based on 24 provincial economic, social and environmental goals indicators. Close bracket. Baseline 2019, 52.87%. Open bracket. 13 Plan Goals Index. Close bracket. Target 2027, 55%. Indicator 30. Availability rate of goals indicator data. Open bracket. Proxy of Strategic Plan Indicator 17.18.1, close bracket. Baseline 2020, 51%. Target 2027, 55%. Data source, frequency of data collection. Column is blank. Indicative country program outputs. Indicator 3.1.2. Percentage of non-state actors participating in platforms on human rights and equality. Inclusive culture and rights-based development approach. Baseline 2021, 20%. Target 2026, 40%. Source, board meeting minutes, surveys. Indicator 3.1.3. Number of changes in approved public policies that address the needs of vulnerable groups. Baseline 2021, 14. Target 2026, 25. Source, National Economic and Social Development Council. Thailand Policy Lab reports. Royal Gazette. Cabinet resolutions. Indicator 3.1.4. Number of vulnerable people with improved and sustained livelihoods after skills enhancement. Baseline 2021, 5,000. Target 2026, 12,000. Open bracket. Men 5,000. Women 7,000. 10% people with disabilities. Close bracket. Source, Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Social Development and Human Security, Department of Community Development. Major partners: Bank of Thailand, Thai Bankers Association, media, academia, non-governmental organizations, civil society, organizations for people with disabilities, private sector, United Nations organizations. Indicative resources US dollars. Column is blank. UNSDCF outcome indicators. Column is blank. Data source, frequency of data collection. Column is blank. Indicator country program outputs. Output 3.2. Vulnerable groups, particularly women, LGBTQI, youth, ethnic minorities, and people with disabilities, are empowered to engage in decision-making bodies and processes at national and local levels. Indicator 3.2.1. Number of inclusive parliamentary forums providing opportunity for citizens, especially vulnerable groups, to speak and influence policy making. Open bracket, link to Strategic Plan Indicator 2.4.1, close bracket, baseline 2021, 1, target 2026, 15, source, parliamentary reports, minutes of meeting of consultations. Indicator 3.2.2, percentage of vulnerable people with improved opportunities to engage with decision-making bodies at national and subnational levels. Baseline 2021, not available. Target 2026, 30% of the estimate of vulnerable people. Source, surveys. Source, provincial development reports. Major partners, column is blank. Indicative resources US dollars, column is blank. UNSDCF outcome indicators, column is blank. Data source, frequency of data collection, column is blank. Indicative country program outputs. Output 3.3. Vulnerable groups have improved access to quality socio-economic services and justice. Indicator 3.3.1. Strategies and models developed and implemented to improve the quality and accessibility of justice and socio-economic services, particularly for vulnerable populations. Baseline 2021, 18, target 2026, 40. Indicator 3.3.2. Number of vulnerable people with improved access to financial services. Baseline 2021, 180. Target 2026, 10,000. Open bracket, 4,500 men, 5,500 women, 10% people with disabilities. Close bracket. Source, Bank of Thailand Financial Access Survey. Indicator 3.3.3. Number of vulnerable people who are accessing justice services. Open bracket. Link to Strategic Plan Indicator 2.2.3, close bracket. Baseline 2021, not available. Target 2026, 3,500. Open bracket. 1,500 men, 2,000 women, 10% people with disabilities. Close bracket. Source, monitoring reports. Major partners, column is blank. Indicative resources US dollars, column is blank. Where we work. With its office in Bangkok, a lot of UNDP's work takes place in Thailand's capital. However, UNDP's reach stretches far beyond Bangkok, with activities in many of the 77 provinces of Thailand to leave no one behind and address the needs of the most vulnerable populations. An image of Thailand map, which is divided into 4 colors by regions and has the name of the province. Photo of 11 adults and children fishermen standing on the beach holding SDG sign. Back cover. UNDP logo. UNDP, United Nations Development Program Thailand. 12th floor, United Nations Building, Ratchadamnern North Avenue, Bangkok, 10200 Thailand. Email undp.thailand@undp.org. Telephone 662-288-3350. Facebook UNDP Thailand. Twitter UNDP Thailand. YouTube UNDP Thailand. Instagram UNDP Thailand. LinkedIn UNDP-Thailand. TikTok UNDP Thailand. Clubhouse UNDP Thailand. On the lower left corner, QR code. This report is available as audiobook and can be accessed using the QR code. The end.